Yep.
Hey everybody, Tina Campbell, the New York Regional Partner of Master Networks. We're a national networking organization, and we're here to help entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, and business people to grow and to pivot during this difficult time and hopefully beyond. So we're going to do that through these lunch and learns that we've been relaying tips and techniques and tactics for transitioning to the new norm. So I just want to welcome Ilia Regini, who is a friend of mine, and she is going to talk about, I'm sorry, did you say good pantry items or?
Quality pantry items.
Pantry items. So I can't wait because I need help with this. So tell me.
Okay, so the first thing that is very important to have is you want to have a quality olive oil. Now, there's all different kinds of olive oils on the market, of course, but a lot of them are a combination of polyunsaturated oils combined with a little bit of quality green olive oil. These here, when you buy a quality olive oil, you want to make sure that it's one, preferably organic, two, that it's extra virgin, three, that it's got a nice viscosity, and also it's important that it lingers a little bit in the back of your palate. It may have a little bit of a bitter taste, which means that it's good quality. Some of the olive oils, this particular one that I have here is the Napa Valley, which is made right here in the United States. But I also have a couple of other good brands that I really love also, which are called Olio Beato de Marco, which is an Italian one, and also the Bio Nature. I guess it's actually pronounced Bio Nature, but in English, I guess they would pronounce it Bio Nature. And again, they're these great, fabulous, fabulous oils. You can cook with them. You can make vinaigrettes with them. I mean, they're just incredible. So that's what I have to say about olive oil.
Fantastic.
The next product that comes to my mind that you would want to have is stocked up during this time is a quality plum tomato. And this particular brand came out just recently, I want to say. Maybe it hasn't even been out for 6 months. It's called Organico Bello. And this is an imported Italian product. They're sold only in the 28-ounce cans like this. And this particular brand is my all-time favorite. It's incredible. The plum tomatoes are soft. You can mash them up very easily. Unlike some of the other brands that are on the market, this particular brand is lower in sodium. Which is also very good to know. They're great mashed up if you're making a sauteed zucchini dish or some kind of other vegetable dish. You can throw in a couple of these plum tomatoes, mash them down, stir it around, give it a little bit of extra. If you're making a braised chicken dish in the oven, throw a little plum tomato in it to give it a little bit of tomatoey kind of flavor. Or if you're making your own marinara sauce, you can always just put these plum tomatoes in the food processor and turn it into a smooth sauce. So this particular one is the one I have on hand, but also the Bio Nature, which I just mentioned before, also puts out a 28-ounce can of plum tomatoes, and I find that they are absolutely fabulous. Very, very great to use and easy to use.
You're making me really hungry.
The next thing that I would like to talk about that's important to have on hand is a good quality bean. Now, I like this brand, the Eden brand, because sometimes if you get a little bit more economical brand, the beans sometimes are overcooked and they already start out mushy. I mean, that's fine if you're planning on pureeing it and turning it into a hummus or something like that. That's fine. But if you want to keep the bean in its shape, I would suggest something like Eden, because the Eden brand doesn't cook it as long and it's very, very digestible. They cook the beans from the Eden brand with a little tiny piece of kombu, which is a type of seaweed, and it gives its other trace minerals, which is really, really very important. I'm holding here a can of cannellini beans, and I also happen to have on hand a can of garbanzo beans. Now with the garbanzo beans, when you strain it and you rinse it under the water, these have a little coating, like a little, almost like a very thin shell that needs to be taken off. Because
Okay.
it's very papery. You want to make sure that you take those off because you don't want that floating around in your soup or in your salad. So these are the beans here that come in mighty handy. They're great at making soups, salads. You can puree them. I mean, they're very, very versatile and also a great source of protein for those of you that are vegan or vegetarian. What else do I want to tell you? Okay, I guess that's good for beans. Now, also about dried beans, I took my beans out, my dried beans. I don't know if you can see them too good here because I
Yep.
don't want to take too much because it's going to get my keyboard here. But
Yeah.
here I have brown lentils. Okay, these are beans that don't need to be soaked 8 hours or more. The ones that I just showed you, the garbanzo and the cannellini and black beans and anasazi beans and all kinds of beans like that, they need to be soaked overnight or for 8 hours to make them soft. But these here, these lentils, they come in various forms. We got the brown lentil here. We've got the French, kind of a greenish lentil, the French lentil. We also have here the red lentil. And these lentils cook up very, very easily. You don't have to soak them. They're great for making soups. They're great for making stews. Great, for anybody that wants something, delicious. And you can make a soup out of this for the whole week, or at least for 5 days or so. Add some root vegetables, some garlic, some filtered water, a shake of sea salt. And there you go. You'll be very pleased with these beans here. They're very, very good. Great source of vegetarian and vegan protein.
Great.
The other thing that I want to talk to you about, not everybody is going to be able to consume this, but for those of you that do consume dairy, I want to talk to you about taking a probiotic. I'm sure you probably already heard the word. A lot of people are taking probiotics nowadays because of the healthy gut bacteria, and we keep that gut bacteria filled with the healthy bacteria. But I myself, I don't take a probiotic tablet or powder, but I take this particular, this happens to be White Mountain. It's a Bulgarian probiotic yogurt. It's very thin and runny. It's plain. You can, if you don't like it plain, you certainly can add fruit to it or nuts, or you can put it in a smoothie if you want to. But this comes with the active probiotic. So it has bifidus and acidophilus, those cultures that are so important nowadays in our diet. If for some reason you can't find this particular product, kefir is also another similar kind of like a liquid yogurt. It's also very, very good. It also is plain. It has the probiotics in it. This is just, something that is very good for your digestion. Very delicious.
Good.
Another thing that I want to talk to you about today, and again, not everybody's going to be able to have this, is canned seafood. Now here, I happen to have a can of wild sockeye salmon. We've heard how important it is to consume our omega-3 fatty acids. And some salmon I find is just, the plain pink kind is okay, but the sockeye is a better quality. It's a higher quality. This is a wild sockeye from Alaska. And this is really nice. You drain it, and then you can mix it with a little bit of mayonnaise, a little bit of chopped onion, red onion preferably, some celery, mix in your favorite mayo and a little olive oil, or you can put it into green salads, or you can have it plain. I mean, it's just very, very good. So this is what the can looks like. I also suggest something like this. We have here wild sardines. They're not, a lot of people say, ooh, sardines, yuck. But these sardines don't seem to have any kind of an odor. I find them to be, very flavorful, very tasty. And this is put out by Wild Planet. They're very, very, high in omega-3s. They're very filling. They'll keep you filled for hours. Good source of protein. So that's what I have to say about that. Also, wanted to talk a little bit for those of you that are vegan or vegetarian about some nut butters. I don't happen to have all my jars of nut butter here, but I could tell you that fresh peanut butter, that you go to the store and you push the button and you fill up a little container of fresh peanut butter. For those of you, of course, that don't have a peanut allergy. If you do, perhaps you could take some almonds and have almond butter. Cashew butter is also very creamy and delicious. And also here I wanted to include raw tahini. And this is a very good brand, the Artisana organic brand, raw tahini. This is made from crushed sesame seeds. And if ever, some of you have heard of the dessert called halva. Halva is made from this type of thick tahini mixed in with a little honey. I tend to use this mixed in to make a crumble. I just recently blogged about making a crumble from scratch, the kind of crumble that you have like on the cobblers in the summer. I was just experimenting in the kitchen with some of the flours that I have in the freezer, and I added some dark cherries, some dried cherries, some apricots, and I mixed it in with a little coconut oil, baked it in the oven. I took it out and I put it in a jar. It was so delicious, I could hardly stop eating it. And so this here tahini, you can use also to make a nice tahini vinaigrette spread. So anyway, or you could just have it on crackers, like for a snack in the afternoon. So that's about the nut butters. The thing that I wanted to talk about was very important, is a very important high quality water. And my favorite water is Mountain Valley spring water. I've tried a lot of waters over the years, but I tend to like Mountain Valley the best. They deliver over here. I am only one person, so they deliver every 2 months, and I get 3 5-gallon drums delivered right here to the house, so it keeps me, good for 2 months. This particular water, when you put it in your mouth, I don't know how to explain it exactly, because it's not like a flavor, not that the water is flavored or anything like that, but it tastes, it has like a quality feeling when it goes down the back of your throat, if that makes any sense. It's a smoothness. It's very difficult to explain, but it's also high in the pH. It's a 7.8 on the pH scale. And also it has the trace minerals, potassium, calcium, and magnesium, which is very important. So that's the water. And then I also wanted to talk a little bit about quality sea salt. I have a little bit of sea salt here. You can't really see it too good.
Yeah, I
but
can.
this can you? Okay. This is the pink Himalayan salt. And I tend to use the pink Himalayan salt a lot in my cooking. Also, there's a gray Celtic sea salt, which is also has a lot of trace minerals. Very, very good quality salt. I would highly recommend it, that any of you think about improving the quality of your salt by looking into one of these high quality salts for your cooking. And then I also wanted to talk a little bit about, I call this the Healthy Trio. For those of you that are familiar with my blog, I talked about the trio quite some time ago, but it's regular real garlic here, a chunk of real ginger, and a chunk of turmeric. Now, I use these a lot in my cooking. The ginger, I mince up. I mince up the turmeric as well. The turmeric is very important because it has curcumin that our body requires. It stains very badly. So if there's a particular board that you don't want to stain, you may want to have its own special board for mincing that up. And the ginger, again, is also very nice. I use these in my smoothie, well, with the exception of garlic. I don't really care for garlic in my smoothies, but the turmeric and the ginger are really nice in the smoothies in moderation. They're also great in making homemade soups, in stir fries, putting them in vinaigrettes to give it like that gingery kind of flavor. So these really go a long ways, I have to say. And I call them my trio because they're very important. They're antiviral, they're just a good quality product that you want to keep on hand.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really didn't prepare anything else per se.
Actually, I have some questions I'd love to
Oh,
ask.
please go right ahead.
So one of the things that you talked about was the sea salt. And so you said particularly for cooking, can you use that for seasoning? Like, put it on the table?
A lot of people like to use what's called a finishing salt. And the finishing salts they're like extra special. In other words, they're smoky, or they come from a particular region or area. But these are just your basic everyday kind of salts that you want to use when you want to add salt to a dish. Pink Himalayan is a quality one. Celtic gray salt is a good quality one. And there's also a product called Real Salt, which is also a good quality salt, and you can find it in any of the good health food stores.
So you can get those instead of the, iodized salt or whatever.
Yes, that's right, because you're going to be getting some trace minerals in there as well.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you was about beans. I wondered if, so you had said about the beans, many of the different type of beans need to be soaked for at least 8 hours, but not the ones in the cans, right?
Not the ones in the can,
Those are
because
ready.
you see, dried beans are hard as a rock. They're hard, and hard as can be. They're like a stone. So those particular ones, you put it in a little mixing bowl, you fill it up with filtered water. When you fill it up, make sure that you're 2 or 3 inches above where those are, and leave it in a warm place. And overnight, you drain that, and you're ready to cook with those if you want to go that route. But a lot of us don't have time to do that, so we kind of grab beans that have already been prepared and cooked.
So tell me about your company. Like, take a couple. We have about 2 minutes left, and I wanted to hear about your company. So what do you do, and what do you do for people, and how? And we'll put your contact information in the details. But so tell me about your company, what you do.
Well, for the time being, I mean, I wanted to also be a consultant to people, where I talk about things like I'm talking with you right now, that sort of thing, one-on-one kind of things. I'm not there though yet. I haven't really been doing that. I wanted to do that, but it looks like the chef service really took off.
Okay.
I wasn't 100% prepared how it took off. And I found myself running around, trying to keep up with all of our clients, and then training chefs in order for them to do that work. And then we have small group cooking classes sometimes at people's houses. We have individual. So needless to say, if you're not in the biz, it's kind of hard to assume or understand how tiring that this can be. But by the time I plan the menu, by the time I go to the grocery stores, and it's usually 2 grocery stores because you can't find everything at one, it takes at least an hour. And then you're going to go to the home, unload everything, prep everything, at least 6 dishes with 5 servings each for the entire week, package everything and clean up. It takes a good 4 or 5 hours.
So
And
you're still going to people's homes?
yeah, I mean, right now I'm just doing only 2 because it's a little difficult to do it from my home here.
Right.
It's a little small.
Yeah.
So we've been very careful. The couple of people that I have there haven't been going out, and I've been wearing sanitary gloves and masks. And so far, knock on wood, we've all been healthy.
Okay, so when we come out of the gate on this, that is something that you'll be continuing to do, that you like to do. You'll be being able to cook for people either in their homes or in. This is when everything opens up.
Yes, yes. I mean, going forward, I mean, what I'd like to get into, but it's very new for me. Like I said, I just ordered the tripod because I was trying to figure out how to do a live video. I was kind of holding it up in my kitchen. I said, oh, this isn't going to work. So I'm going to try to get into
Good.
doing live video sessions. I want to. My manuscript for my cookbook is done. It's just the idea of finding somebody to publish it now. I mean, every recipe, all 113 recipes are ready.
Amazing. So I can't wait to hear what the next thing is for you and for everybody at Master Networks to see what you could do. Because one of the things like this, I have to tell you, we've never had this face to face. And what's great about it is that you're showing me things, which is so hard to do when we're out, and about and we're talking to each other. Here you can really show me, you can educate me, and I really enjoyed it. I want to say thank you so much for coming and explaining this to me. And I think we should do another one of these because I think
I would love to.
other things that you can teach all of us about, really good, as other people in our master say, clean food, right? Good
Yes,
clean
clean food,
food,
correct.
and to be
Correct.
really to be understanding of what you're getting out there versus just buying something off the shelf. So
I
thank
have to honestly tell you, Tina, I mean, I used to love going out to eat. I may go out to eat maybe twice a year now. I just love making everything myself. I'm
amazing.
born with an above average palate, I guess.
I do think you were. I do think you were. But thank you so much.
You're welcome.